Hi everyone. Well, that was a lot of work, and it still is a lot of work to do. Well, this month was all about the Glowing Stripes project, my current LED project, which you can currently see behind me. So yeah, as you can see, there has been quite a bit of progress happening, but there's a lot more work to do, and let me tell you more what I mean by that. First of all, I switched from acrylic for the LED strips to aluminum profiles like those. Because they're just a lot more stable and acrylic wasn't really stable enough. So I got the aluminum profiles and prepared the LED strips and then taped the strips to the aluminum profiles. Another change that I did was because I kept having memory issues on MicroPython on the ESP32, I switched from the ESP32 to Raspberry Pi Zero, running actual Python and with a lot more performance and a lot more possibilities. Only downside so far is that the booting time definitely increased massively, but I hope I might also be able to improve that as well. And even if not, it's still in a lot of ways a lot better. LED animations are a lot smoother, I don't have to worry about performance with the web server anymore, to name just a few reasons. Next, we come to the LED animations. So already a while ago I created NeoPixel Plus, which is a library for Python which you can install via pip install NeoPixel Plus. A library that includes also a terminal simulator, so you can actually simulate how the LED strips will glow in your terminal without having any electronics connected to your computer. And now I extended the library with a lot of animations as well, including the rainbow animation, including beats animation, which you can customize with a lot of options, moving dot, transition, and they will be added. I will add more over the next few weeks and months. And here you can see how they actually look like when they're not just running on a simulator, but on a real physical LED strips. And it already looked really nice. So yeah, if you want to use NeoPixel Plus, totally independent of the Glowing Stripes project, you can do that. Just pip install NeoPixel Plus, and of course you can contribute to the project as well. You can see all the code on GitHub, including a README where I try to explain as good as possible how you can actually use the functions and how you can customize them. Not only is NeoPixel Plus open source and accessible, so you can edit and make changes to it if you want to, but the same applies for the Glowing Stripes project. So in case you haven't checked out the current repo, which I admit the README is not super helpful at the moment, but I will fix that once I actually officially release the Glowing Stripes project. But yeah, you can already see the progress that I'm doing, and yeah, feel free to suggest changes as well if you want to. So originally my plan was to release the final video of the Glowing Stripes project this month, well actually end of October, which obviously didn't happen. One of the main reasons for that was definitely the connectors. Connecting the LED strips was much bigger of an issue than I expected it to be. But hey, I learned a lot of things. I learned what materials do not really work, and yeah, one of the first things I tried was using aluminum profiles, since I knew that acrylic is just not stable enough for my purpose. I used some aluminum profiles and basically taped them on the LED strip. Mildly successful. It was wibbling, it was moving a lot, so it wasn't really stable either. Then I switched to fixed aluminum profiles that I would basically put around the LED strip, which also wasn't good, to be honest. There was just too much of a gap in between, and fixing that was really a lot of pain in the butt, basically adding a lot of hot glue to it, and even then it was more like a game of chance that it was actually working, and not really reproducible, and definitely not an easy way reproducible. So what to use instead then? Well, 3D printing. Turns out making a 3D model and printing it is both stable enough, and you can actually create a perfect fit for the aluminum profiles and the connectors. And that's what I was working on. Sadly, however, it didn't require only one try, but a lot of different design versions for both the connector and also for the base station. It started with like a very small one, so that the footprint is as small as possible. But then on the one of the sides it was by far not long enough and it was still very unstable, so I made a version that's longer, but then still having concerns about the stability of it. So I made it wider and thicker. In the meantime, I also was building the case, or 3D printing the case, where I then realized that I hate using support material. It's just a lot of work having the support material that you do not need afterwards and that you have to remove manually, especially if the support material is thicker. It's just not that easy to get rid of it, and you also risk damaging your actual 3D print. And speaking of more issues that I had with this 3D printed case, some parts were already breaking off. The slider mechanism that should allow me to add a USB cable for charging was way too small and also didn't fit in the way it's supposed to. So yeah, I had to make multiple design versions of it, both the connector and the case. But hey, in the end, I'm not finished yet. Let's be real here. But I was able to make a version that's already decently working. Not perfect, and I will make another design change, a big one, especially since I recently had a conversation with a good friend who actually is really good into 3D printing and who gave me a lot of really useful advice on how to change the 3D models and the 3D prints. One of the things he showed me was how I can replace the need of glue by using a kind of snapping mechanism. This way I can basically connect multiple parts easily and also disconnect them in a stable way, and also I don't need to use any glue. But hey, despite all these issues, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. It already looks pretty nice, even while there's still a lot more work to do. But yeah, we're getting to the finish line here. And then there's the software aspect. There's a lot of stuff already working pretty well. For example, the LED strip can automatically search for an existing host, and if there is one, connect to it. Otherwise, create a hotspot so other LED strips can connect to it. Then the LED strip is automatically signing up to the host, and then you can see in the web interface that the LED strip is available. And then the setup mode is also already working. So once you open the web interface, all the LED strips that are connected will glow in one specific color, so you can identify which LED strip in your room is switched on the web interface. Let me show you how that works. So you can see I'm opening the web interface, and there we go, our LED strip. And then we can click on Build Up Complete once all the LED strips are there, and then we basically can access and control the LED strip. Which at the moment, as you can see, is not working, but that's the thing I will work on next from the web interface perspective. Speaking of, the next part of the web interface. I will make it work that you can control all the LED strips and change the modes. You will be able to also customize the LED strip modes. You will be able to save mixes, so you can create nice mixes of different animations and durations and speeds and so on, and don't have to reconfigure them every single time. And if you want to, you can also further customize the LED animations and save them for later with a different name. And then once everything is working perfectly fine from the web interface perspective, as well as the cases, make new designs and then 3D print them, as soon as that is all done, then I will take a look into making it react to music, which might make a lot more effort than I will feel comfortable with, but we will see. Maybe it's actually easier. I was already taking a look on the documentation of the a Wii speaker to mic set that I got for the Raspberry Pi, which has 2 microphones and which can listen to sound. You could even build a voice assistant with this system, by the way, but I don't have any intentions in this direction. But hey, if you want to, you can make it work. So yeah, that's basically what I worked on in October, and let's summarize what I'm gonna work on now on November and then also after that in December. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna work on a Glowing Stripes project. I will finish the web interface, make it work that you can control everything. I will redesign the 3D models for the case and the connectors and 3D print them, which will take a bit of time. Well, and once that is done, I will start making the video about the Glowing Stripes project, the background, why I built this in the first place, and how you can build it yourself and share it with everyone online. And hopefully I will be able to make it work that you can adapt the animation duration and animation pauses in between to the music using the microphones integrated into the Glowing Stripes project. And in case you do wonder what's the case now with the Hackspace.org redesign or the Glowing Bikes project, which I worked on a while ago, I have it still on my screen. They both will be the next projects. So the Glowing Bike project will be getting a huge update. Stay tuned about that. And also I will continue finishing the UX design and UI design of the Hackspace.org redesign, and then actually start coding it together with other people. That's basically what I will do both in November and then December. And then late December there's Congress, or in this year Remote Congress, Chaos Communication Congress happening, and that will be a great opportunity to also talk with other people more about a new Hackspace.org website. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's it. Hope to see you in the next update, and stay safe, stay healthy, and let's try to be optimistic. Have a good day.